What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, covering more of the recent wrestling news, keeping you guys updated with all those latest rumors and reports. And you guys know the deal with WrestleMania coming up this weekend. There's a lot to talk about. Timestamps down in the description below. And don't forget to hit those notifications to not miss any of the uploads. And if you want even more wrestling content, check out the second channel. As we get closer to WrestleMania, the stage construction continues. Previously, we ended up getting drone footage, giving us an idea of how exactly the arena was gonna look for this year's big event. At that point, it was very clear that they were gonna have a big pirate ship, an extra one than the one that the stadium already has, and it was gonna be part of the stage. Now we got a brand new image a couple of days after that, showcasing the progress. And as seen on this brand new photo of the stage, the pirate ship seems to be complete, but so is the full stage area and the screens that we are going to be seeing. They set up all of the large LED screens, so it looks like previous years we're gonna be getting a massive screen to be the stage. But the special thing about this year's WrestleMania is that, as you guys can see, that pirate ship is gonna be right on top of it, so it's gonna have a very cool theme to it. And instead of it being just a plain LED screen, it's divided into three with a big entrance right in the middle, so it should look very cool and it should look different than previous years. From these images, we can also see that the structure around the ring appears to have screens as well, but this is not a surprise because when it comes to the stadiums, WWE usually end up doing this to make the ring stand out even more and to show the action more to those that are in attendance. Now, we're not the only one excited about this, because Kevin Owens has been campaigning and letting us know that he wants to jump off that pirate ship. He took a look at these images over on Twitter and indicated the following: "This is going to be quite the challenge." It certainly will be, but I'm excited to see what he comes up with. Hopefully he does get to jump off of it, because he wanted to do it last year, but of course everything got canceled. WrestleMania happened at the Performance Center. Now this year's the time. There's even two pirate ships in that stadium now, one that is part of the stage, so it could happen. Now, something that usually happens right after WrestleMania is we get massive returns, big returns to kind of renew a lot of rivalries and start building towards SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, and even next year's WrestleMania. Two of the big stars that we have been waiting to make a comeback to WWE is Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. And now we got a bit of an update on their return coming from the WWE president, Nick Khan. During a recent interview, he indicated that both stars will be coming back in the near future, stating the following: "Ronda is going to be coming back at a certain point in time. Becky Lynch just had her first baby. She will be coming back at a certain point in time in the not too distant future." Meaning that Becky Lynch returning is a bit closer than whenever Ronda Rousey decides to come back. Becky Lynch had her baby late last year, so by this time around it's kind of obvious that WWE wants her to return already. And not to say that it would happen, but it could make sense for her to be at WrestleMania. It'd be a surprise, maybe have a surprise segment for that live audience. That will be a massive pop. And I kind of mentioned before that it will be awesome to see her return, let's say on night one of WrestleMania, and then maybe have a confrontation with someone like Bayley who doesn't have a match, and then set up a match for night two of WrestleMania. I'd rather them give us those surprises at WrestleMania than wait for the Raw after WrestleMania, because that WrestleMania event is where the fans are gonna be at. That's gonna be the big crowd, that's gonna be the big reaction, so those surprises should be there. As for Ronda Rousey, based on this report, we're always getting contradicting things on whether or not Ronda is gonna return to WWE, even though we know she is contracted to them. This makes it clear that it is just a matter of time, and she has leverage on this. Once she wants to return, she will be back. But it looks like this year is gonna be the year. We of course haven't seen Ronda since WrestleMania 35, when she had that triple threat main event match with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Onto some other news, this is officially the last week that we got AEW versus NXT. So let's go ahead and talk some highlights of both shows. For NXT, we got some big title change. Raquel Gonzalez won the NXT Women's Champion in the main event of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, getting that title from Io Shirai. Early on in the night, we had new champions getting crowned as MSK won the NXT Tag Team Champions. They had a heck of a tag team match, and there was a lot of high-flying action just as we expected. As for AEW, AEW Dynamite, we had the appearance of Mike Tyson, and you know when Mike Tyson show up in a pro wrestling ring, he is either turning on somebody or joining someone. This week he made a big impact by coming out to the ring and helping out Chris Jericho, which of course doesn't really make much sense considering that these two had a beef just a couple of months ago and they were trying to build up to a massive match between them. But for the most part, the Inner Circle are a babyface now, so I guess it's not as bad. In this episode, Chris Jericho also had an amazing promo, all of which led to him setting up the Blood and Gut match. So we are finally going to get it. It is going to be the Inner Circle taking on the Pinnacle, and that is going to be happening on May 5th. Kind of crazy to say that we have been waiting for this match for over a year now, and finally now it is going to be happening. The initial match though was supposed to go down a bit different, as the Inner Circle was supposed to take on the Elite. Now talking about the Elite, this week we got a big heel turn, officially, finally, I guess, as Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson teamed up with Jon Moxley to face Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. But towards the end of the match, the Young Bucks were conflicted. They were not able to attack Kenny Omega while he looked all defeated, which led to Jon Moxley getting angry, destroying Kenny Omega a bit more. The Young Bucks couldn't take it, so they went on to help Kenny Omega and betraying Jon Moxley. To end the show, they all hugged it out, so I guess they're back together once again, even though the split didn't really last that long. It was literally like a month and a half, and it feels like it has been a back and forth, so I wonder where they headed with this. While we on the discussion of NXT and also AEW, it was recently reported that Triple H told NXT talent during a backstage meeting that AEW tried to bully them away from airing on Wednesday night, and while speaking on the post NXT TakeOver conference, Triple H ended up clarifying what exactly was indicated, and he denied ever saying AEW tried to bully them out of Wednesday nights. In regards to what the meeting was, he indicated the following: it was a conversation with our talent that was exactly that. It was informational to them, to where we are headed, to where we are going. It was like meetings that we had all the time with certain restrictions, of course referring to the conditions that we are in right now. He continued to indicate that it went as normal. As far as the content of the meeting, that was reported by a lot of people and elsewhere completely inaccurate. Never said, never brought up, nobody else was ever brought up. Nothing about other people, wasn't about other brands or companies or anything else. It was a factual meeting to tell people where we are going, where we are headed, and to motivate them going into the future. Nothing more, nothing less. End quote. Triple H was so confident that he indicated that WWE could have told everyone what was said in the meeting if they wanted to. So that is the update in regards to that report. Initially, when we talked about it, I kind of thought the same thing, that it would be weird for Triple H or just WWE officials to say something like that AEW bullied them out of Wednesday night while they were competing against each other, just because these people backstage, they know that somebody's leaking stuff. So saying something like that is only gonna bring in heat from the fans. So this sounds a bit more true, but without a doubt, AEW bringing that competition to NXT on Wednesday night certainly is one of the reasons why NXT is moving. Might not be the only one, but it's certainly influencing it. And as I mentioned before, it's not a bad thing, because now we could watch NXT on Tuesday night on Peace, and we could watch AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night on Peace as well. It just feels like it's best for business all around. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed or found it informative, don't forget to elbow drop it. Let me know which return are you most excited for, Ronda Rousey or Becky Lynch. Drop it down in the comments below. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.